We have a tendency to want to kick against what successful people in one area tell us to do or tell us how they did what they did, right? And we cannot do that if you're asking for advice or you're struggling in an area and you go to a person and say, "Hey, how did you do what you did?" And they tell you how they did what they did. You do have a decision to make, but it would make sense before you throw away what they said to at least try it for 6 months to a year and see what happens. And 9 times out of 10, the thing that you want will start to happen. There will start to be motion and steps taken towards getting to where you want to be. Hey, family. This is Che Willis coming back with another episode of Wealth is a Journey podcast. Guys, this is episode 133. 133 weeks of consistency, 133 weeks of getting it done. We outside. That was a tongue twister. If you are a first time listener, watcher, subscriber, thank you so much for joining us. On this podcast, we talk about faith, family, and finances, among other things. If you are a return listener, watcher, subscriber, thank you so much for joining us again. Hopefully, we are adding value to your lives on the way to the M's, because as always, we are on the way to the M's. Before we get started, if you have a financial question, please put it in the comments. There are a lot of people who come to me, DM me, text me with questions about finance, how to get started, what's the hot stock, different things of that nature. If you have a question, put it in the comments below. I will read it on the podcast and then I will answer it to the best of my ability. So if you have a question, go ahead and put it in the comments below. All right, now we're going to get started. So the last couple of weeks, we've been talking about how to achieve anything. And the way to achieve anything is believe, plan, and execute. It's just that simple, right? And I think people overcomplicate how to achieve things. The first thing is belief. If you do not believe that you can achieve whatever you're going after, you will fail and you will never get to the destination, right? So the first thing that we have to do is believe that we can achieve the thing. And then once we have the belief or have the mindset, hey, that this is going to happen, then we have to set a plan in place. Because this is a financial show, podcast, we're talking about budgeting. And the plan has to surround itself with budgeting because if you're trying to get somewhere financially, you cannot get there if your money is going all over the place. Can you? Yes. If you hit a lick and you get a lot of money coming in, yes, you can get to your destination that way. However, it is not sustainable if you do not have your spending under control. So once you have the belief, then you have the plan in place. Now it is time to execute. Okay. But before we get to that, as I'm talking to people, uh, I talk to people all the time about finances, right? And the thing that concerns me is that once I start talking about budgeting to people and how to get somewhere financially or how we got to the things that we've achieved, paid off house, paid off cars, pool in the backyard, multiple home projects, paid off real estate, different things of that nature. It all revolved around telling our money where to go. And I think people think that there's this magic pill that you can take and voila, you're going to be where you want to be financially. And it does not work like that. We have a tendency to want to kick against what successful people in one area tell us to do or tell us how they did what they did, right? And we cannot do that if you're asking for advice or you're struggling in an area, and you go to a person and say, "Hey, how did you do what you did?" And they tell you how they did what they did. You do have a decision to make, but it would make sense before you throw away what they said to at least try it for 6 months to a year and see what happens. And 9 times out of 10, the thing that you want will start to happen. There will start to be motion and steps taken towards getting to where you want to be. I can't tell you the amount of times that I've bumped my head because I did not listen. Now, whether it was a parent, whether it was in my prayer time and hearing in my spirit from God what He told me to do, even though in my prayer time, I wanted to be somewhere and I heard, "Hey, do this." And I went against it and I suffered loss. I talk about it on the podcast pretty often. So, what makes sense for you trying to get somewhere to listen to the person who was successful in the area or somebody who has lived. I can't tell you the amount of time that my mom or my dad say, "Hey, do this," or "Hey, don't do that." And I'm gonna do it anyway. I'm grown. And then I lost as a result of it. And I'm sure many people that are listening or watching can resonate or it resonates with what I'm saying. So I'm telling you that if you are against budgeting, you will lose financially because as adults, we start slowing down. And as I'm talking to people, I'm starting to see before I actually get to retire what it looks like for somebody who does not have their finances in order. It looks bad because you may make money now, and that's fine. But what you're not taking into account for somebody who does not save or invest or put money away, and they just spend and live their best life and go on trips and run up credit cards and overdo it. That path does not end well for anybody because what you're not taking into account, if this is you, you're not taking into account, well, what if I get sick and I'm not able to make the money that I was making before? Or what if I lose my job and I was out here living my best life? Or what if my business fails? If you are a full time entrepreneur, what if my business fails or something happens to my business where I can't make the money that I was making before when I was living my best life? So, this is the reason why budgeting is so important to us as a people trying to get somewhere financially. It gives you the discipline to tell your money where to go. It gives you the ability to lower your expenses. It also gives you the ability to invest after you lower your expenses. Invest for your kids' college, invest for yourselves, invest in a business, invest in real estate, invest in the stock market. It gives you so many different options. And it also gives you patience, which a lot of us suffer from. We are very, very impatient in this world today. And having to wait to buy the thing that you want to buy because you may not have the money right now, it helps from a patient's perspective budgeting because you put the money away and then a month or two later then you can buy the thing. When I bought the car, we have a Tesla. I bought that car back in 2023 cash. 2 years and a few months to buy the thing. And it helped me from a patient standpoint to be able to buy it. My wife and I, we were working together, we bought the thing, and it was a sense of accomplishment to be able to buy something or have something in my mind for over 2 years and then be able to accomplish the goal. So I'm telling you that if you are against budgeting, there are many different reasons that I just listed why we should be doing it. Okay. So the execution part for you and for me is budgeting every month. And when I say budgeting every month, I'm not just talking about paying your bills and then whatever money's left over after you're done paying your bills, then you just blow the rest of the money. I'm not saying that. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about budgeting your money to the point where you have all of your expenses listed out after you know what your income is going to be. And then you start paying down your debts, smallest to largest. And then you start rolling payments into the other one after you eliminate one payment, you roll that into another payment and then roll that into another payment. And then as soon as you know it, you're cooking with grease. But this happens because we're executing over time to pay the thing down. So then when we're paying the thing down and then we pay it off, now we have a significant amount of money to do the nice things that we want to do, like invest, go on nice trips, be able to bless somebody else, which you can put that in your budget as well. But this has to be done every month, right? And also, uh, uh, when you pay the things down and then you're investing, then we're doing that consistently and we're executing on that every month. If you think about your 401k, if you're a full-time employee, or if you're a full-time entrepreneur and then you have an IRA, the way that those things balloon, the way that they get more and more and more is the money is getting pulled out of your check and then deposited into your account and it's investing automatically. So if you adopt the same principles of investing consistently, building it into your budget, then you will be wealthy over time. It's not going to be overnight, but it's going to be a continuous thing over and over and over again, just like the 401k. And the way people get millions of dollars in their 401k is they're investing consistently over time, every time they get paid. So if you want to be wealthy, then you can do the same thing. And if you have a 401k, you can still invest on your own outside of the 401k. And the reason I say that is because you're like, well, why would I want to do that? Because you can't take the money out of your 401k until you're at retirement age without receiving a penalty and paying taxes on the money and so forth. Uh, and you may want to invest in something like a real estate, a piece of property, or invest in somebody's business, and you want to be able to access the money. So putting the money away outside of your 401k is a good idea because it allows you to be liquid, have the money on the sideline to be able to invest wherever you want it to go. So hopefully that makes sense. But this has to be done consistently every month or every time you get money that you put a line item in your budget for. So let's just say it's the beginning of the month and then you paid off your consumer debts and then you have either 500 or $1,000 as a line item in your budget. You get paid. If it's 500 that you're budgeting for on a monthly basis, then maybe you put 250 in your first check if you get paid every 2 weeks, you put 250 into the market or wherever you're investing it at, 250. And then the next time you get paid, you put the other 250 in. And once the money's gone, that says, hey, I put the 500 in. Now it's gone. Now you can't invest anymore unless you find money somewhere else in your budget that you didn't spend in a specific line item, like gas. If you budgeted say $300 for gas and then you only spend $50. I'm sorry, you only spend $250. That extra $50 that you have in your budget for gas, you can now go to investing. But if you don't budget consistently, then you won't be able to play those types of pull from one area and then put it in another area. You won't learn how to do that. So I'm saying all that to say that uh, that executing on the budget piece consistently is a must for you. And I understand that a lot of people like to go from A to Z, meaning that they have an idea in their head, and it happens to me as well. You have an idea in your head, and you're at A right now, but then you want to hurry up and get to Z. There's so many different lessons in between A and Z that you can learn, that you can pass down to your kids or your nieces or nephews, whatever the case may be. You can do that. So don't be in such a rush to get to Z. Understand that there's beauty in the journey. However, I understand that the journey, when you're going through it, it doesn't necessarily always feel good. I understand that too. But it's something that we have to do. So while you're in it, you might as well extract as many lessons as possible. So then that can be information that you can write in your little notebook. Oh, this happened here, this happened there. And then you can look back years later and see how God brought you through those different obstacles and things like that that you were going through. And you can then pass that down to your family members. So, again, that's the episode, but I want to make sure that we drive home the simple way to achieve anything. You have to believe, you have to plan, you have to execute consistently. And so it's not because I talk to people sometimes and they're like, yeah, I just paid this bill off. And then I don't want to poo-poo on their accomplishment, but now I'm thinking to myself, okay, well, what are we doing with the extra money now? Are we paying more things down? Because some people rest on their laurels and they're like, okay, well, I paid the one thing down, and then they don't take that money and then rolling into something else to pay down and rolling into something else to pay down, and then they're back to where they were before they started paying the thing down. So if that's you, keep going. Keep paying the next thing down and then paying the next thing down and then paying the next thing down. And as soon as you know it, you'll have a pile of money to do exactly what you want to do with it. Hopefully, you'll build for the future or go on a trip, do something nice. So that's the episode. Thank you so much for tuning in. Wealth is a journey. We will see you next week. Peace.